I am Matthew Abbott, and my wife Alana and I run Abbott Family Insurance here in Florida. We help employers design tax smart benefit strategies so you can take better care of your people without letting payroll and benefit costs run your business. Today, I want to talk about something that has caused a lot of confusion in the last few years, those so called 105 wellness plans you may have heard about, and how that is very different from the way we use a self insured medical reimbursement plan, or SIMRP, inside our ProfitGuard Plus strategy. I am not going to give away anybody's secret sauce here, including ours. My goal is simple. If you are an employer, I want you to be able to spot the red flags in wellness style 105 arrangements and understand at a high level how a properly structured SIMRP based approach is built to be compliant, sustainable, and actually focused on medical care, not just tax gimmicks.
Let us start with what most people mean when they say 105 wellness plan.
Over the last decade, a wave of programs hit the market, promising big tax savings using Section 105 and wellness. The pitch usually sounded like this: we will run a wellness plan through your payroll. We will reduce your employees' taxable wages, run money through a Section 105 plan, and then somehow put most of that money back in their pocket. They just have to answer some emails or do a quick check-in every month. On paper, these programs wrap themselves in terms like wellness and Section 105. In practice, a lot of them had some common problems. They were built almost entirely around the financial play, not genuine medical benefits.
They often tried to do everything under a cafeteria plan and then reimburse back out of the same structure.
They blurred the lines between what is actual medical care and what is just a cash reward or perk dressed up as wellness. When the IRS chief counsel started issuing memos on these types of arrangements, they did not say, all wellness is bad. What they did say is that certain designs were not compliant, especially when
The plan was run solely through a cafeteria plan and then reimbursed through that same cafeteria structure. The so-called wellness benefit was really an indemnity or cash payout. That is not true medical care.
rewards were being positioned like tax-free income, even though they were not tied to qualifying medical care. I am not going to drag you through code sections, but here is the street-level version. If the program is nothing more than we reduce wages, run dollars through a 105 label, and then pay people back as if it was tax-free income, that is not a real medical plan. That is a tax loophole with a wellness sticker on it. That is where a lot of those 105 wellness setups get sideways. Now compare that to how we think about SIMRP. At the core, a self-insured medical reimbursement plan is exactly what it sounds like: a formal employer plan that reimburses qualifying medical expenses. It exists to pay for medical care, not to create mystery cash rewards. It lives alongside your other benefit structures, and it has to be documented, administered, and funded like a real plan. There are three big differences in how we approach this. First, purpose. The purpose of our SIMRP-based strategy is to fund real defined medical benefits on a tax-efficient basis. We are not trying to turn the tax code into a backdoor bonus system. We are using existing rules to shift part of what you are already spending on compensation and healthcare into a more efficient structure. Second, substance. The benefits that run through the SIMRP component inside ProfitGuard Plus are tied to actual medical care and preventative services, not generic do a task, get a gift card rewards. We are careful about staying in the lane of legitimate medical benefits as defined by the rules that apply here. We are also pairing it with an underlying medical plan, not trying to pretend that a wellness app alone is health insurance. Third, structure. A compliant SIMRP structure is not just write 105 on the brochure. There is a formal plan document. There are clear rules around eligibility, what is reimbursable, and how reimbursements work. There is a proper relationship with your cafeteria plan, your payroll, and your core health benefits. And there is a distinction between employer dollars, employee dollars, and what can be treated as tax advantaged. Here's how I explain it to owners in plain English. Those old school 105 wellness pitches were basically saying, trust us, we found a way to turn wages into tax-free cash by checking a few wellness boxes. That is exactly the kind of thing that attracts regulatory attention.
Our approach with SIMRP is, let us take dollars you are already committing to benefits, wrap them in a structure that focuses on real medical value, and design it so your payroll tax exposure goes down, your employees' out-of-pocket risk goes down, and the plan still sits on solid footing.
We do not need to tell the world every step in that process. But at a high level, that is the philosophical difference. One is a loophole mindset. The other is a benefits and compliance mindset. So if you are listening to this as an employer, how do you apply this without becoming a tax attorney? I would ask 3 questions of any 105 wellness or reimbursement style program. 1, is this built around real medical benefits, or is it built around a spreadsheet showing how much fake income we can run through the plan? If the pitch is 90% tax savings and 10% actual benefit, be cautious. 2, is there a clear separation between the cafeteria plan and the medical reimbursement plan? Or are they trying to run contributions and reimbursements through the same pipe? If everything is happening in one bucket with no distinction, that is a red flag.
3, does this sit on top of a legitimate medical plan and broader benefit strategy, or is it being sold as a standalone magic trick? A good SIMRP-based approach is integrated. A gimmick is usually bolted on the side with no connection to your overall design.
Notice what I am not doing here. I am not walking through our documents, our step-by-step workflow, or our vendor structure. That is intentional. The point of this episode is not to hand someone a blueprint. It is to equip you, as a business owner, to spot the difference between sounds clever and built to last. When we implement ProfitGuard Plus with a SIMRP component, we are looking at your medical plan, your payroll, your employee profile, and your risk tolerance. We design something that fits inside your world. That is not something someone can just copy off a podcast transcript, and I am okay with that. If you are hearing this and you have a nagging feeling about a wellness style 105 program you were pitched in the past, or you are in one now and not sure how solid it really is, that is worth a conversation. We can review what you have, give you a straight read, and talk about whether a SIMRP-based structure, done the right way, would make sense for your shop. You do not need to become an expert in code sections. You just need to work with someone who treats this as benefits strategy and compliance, not a parlor trick. That is the lane we stay in.
If you want to dig into how this could look in your world without getting lost in the weeds, reach out to us at Abbott Family Insurance, and we will walk through it with you.